Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pop Spot, where we pop about all the spots we love in independent professional wrestling and all the wrestling that we love. I am your host, Andre. Right over here is my co-host, the wonderful, the awesome AWS. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. This weekend was a great weekend for independent wrestling in the province. Two massive RCW shows, which we'll get to pretty quick. I could not make it out to Leduc on the Friday, so I went to the MPW show on Friday. It was MPW Outrage at Alberta.
How'd that go? How's that one?
It was pretty good. Yeah, no, I didn't have any real problems. There was no real defects. And I mean, it's for people that aren't aware, Monster Pro is essentially, I like to equate it to Edmonton's developmental. It's essentially a promotion with newer wrestlers, people that are learning the craft. And, a lot of people that night did really good. I'm not going to go through the show because we have two shows to go through in this episode, but just a few standouts. Captain Bones and the Pirate Faction are very fun. All of them are very cool. The Clowns, Prankster Pete, more so Prankster Pete than Jerry the Jester, because Jerry the Jester, he's kind of flat. But Prankster Pete is very fun, and he's pulling double duty on a lot of those shows. Who else? Okay. Zed and Hammerhead are a new tag team that are doing really well for themselves, and they're actually really good for being so new. And of course, I mean, the Matriarch and Levi Knight are probably the two biggest names that people know from Monster Pro. Levi Knight now taking other places. He got booked on Reaper Pro recently. That was really cool. Matriarch is kind of branching out a little bit.
I've seen Levi in other promotions too. I've seen him at odd times here. I think I saw him at an LPW show once or twice, in scramble matches and stuff and tag matches. So again, and he's very good. I like that old that 70s gimmick that he does. He's very good.
Yeah, he's really cool. Whenever I usually go with Andreas. Shout out to Andreas, my co-host on the Morphomania podcast, by the way. We'll get there later. But Andreas and I like to call him Disco Stu.
Yeah.
Which is pretty apt. But he's got a really good gimmick, and he's very good. He's probably the best worker that MPW has, in my personal opinion. I might be right. It's just my opinion. But
personal feelings, my favorite there is Wrath, but that's just from
that's absolutely fair.
I've also watched him since the early days that when I started going to Monster Pro back in the early 2010s. I watched him back then. So he wasn't Wrath back then, but I've watched that guy forever, and I do know the guy, so he's very good too.
He's a great actor. He's good at the entertainment aspect. I would know. I want to go to his Fringe.
The man under the mask is an actor by trade. So
yeah, absolutely. But that's pretty much all I have to say on the MPW show. How was your weekend, my friend?
My weekend was very interesting because I did attend the Leduc, the Leduc Brewery show, and I did go to the show the Saturday at the Legion. But I actually worked both of them as the ring announcer for RCW, making my return. The first time I ring announced since last fall at the Delwood Fall Festival, when our friends from OLE, my friends Astrid and Bobby. Astrid was had come up for a week and a half for a visit from Florida, and Bobby drove out for the weekend. For him and his lady Shauna came out for the weekend from Saskatoon.
Sweet.
It was actually the first time I ever met Bobby and Astrid that weekend. So it was really cool to so it was the last time I ring announced was just over a year ago. So
Sweet.
Yeah. Just under a year ago. So it was cool. Friday night, I'll admit, I had a few flubs in, just hadn't done it in a while, and a couple of the people I knew them. I knew how to do. I knew their announcer because I'd done them before. But there was a bunch of people I hadn't announced before on that show, so it took me some to get used to. I I'll talk about it when it gets. I flubbed. I'll talk about one of the flubs for sure. But yeah, yeah, I really
On
enjoyed getting back
Saturday's
in
show,
the saddle.
you only flubbed once, and it was incredibly minor. It was in the main, but we'll get
Yeah,
there.
I know exactly what it is because I went back. I have heard some audio from me doing that, and I'm like, god damn it, god damn it. But the person didn't notice.
Thank goodness they didn't notice.
He said he didn't even know. So I
Great.
heard, I've heard it, and I hear it, but he didn't notice. So I'm good. I
Very
mentioned
happy about that.
really, I didn't hear that. And I'm like, okay, good. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so how did that Friday show go, Andre?
Friday was a really good time. It was the RCW Great Canadian Brewery Bash, and actually, I'm gonna talk about it quickly. I've got a note or two on some of the stuff. The
Mhm.
last couple matches I actually don't have any notes for. I just got to get the result of the finish because I was really busy. Got kind of busy at the end. Didn't get a chance to write notes for that stuff. But yeah, so yeah, Great Canadian Brewery Bash. 6 out of the 8 people on that poster were there. We were missing Tony Machete and Thias Jones. We're not on the show. The rest of the guys
Yeah.
on that poster were on that card.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it kicked off Scotty Ace versus Americado. There was a whole.
Nice.
There was like Kato was cutting a promo about Pro America at the start, and then Scotty Ace even took the mic and he just made some comments like they're Pro Canada, let's go, kick some ass. And in the end, Scotty Ace hit a top rope moonsault to kick to Americado to get the win. Really good opener. I thought really solid, and I'm becoming a very big fan of Scotty Ace.
Nice. Same. We'll get there when we get to the show, the Saturday show. But yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of Scotty as well.
Yeah, really fun match. Second match on the show, it was Steve Wild versus Dead Zone. Admittedly, I don't have a picture for Dead Zone, so I went and found a fan made costume online, and that's my picture until I got an actual picture of Dead Zone. So
Wow. Oh, there he is. That's amazing, actually.
I knew you would pop for that. But yeah, Dead Zone Steve Wild. Wild came out. Dead Zone came out, but he wasn't getting the crowd at first. And then Steve Wild came out, and he actually got some cheers, but then he really got the crowd to turn against him throughout the match. And Dead Zone was very funny, in that every time Steve Wild would hit him really strong, he would just be like, "Oh shit, off!"
Nice.
Like cartoonishly selling that, but without
Nice.
geniuses. It was like cartoonish kind of sell. So good. But yeah, Wild did hit him. The ref gets distracted. Wild hit him low. Ref's back was turned, and he rolled up Dead Zone for the win.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
Dead Zone actually got the pin, but the ref saw the foot on the ropes after he counted 3, so he said, "Well, no, we're keeping the match
Uh,
going." And then the
and
ref
then
got
what happened? Yeah.
the ref got distracted, and yeah, Wild did
Yeah.
a little.
Fair enough. Sounds like
Yeah,
a serviceable match.
yeah. Actually, it was a pretty fun little match. Actually, they did a good job. I quite enjoyed it.
No way, Steve Wild had a fun match. That's crazy. No, I'm
It
kidding.
was. The way, again, Dead Zone was very funny in the way he did a lot of stuff. Steve Wild is kind of the perfect bad guy for certain things.
Hmm.
In when he's with some people, and we'll talk about it on Saturday. The perfect bad guy for some people.
Yeah. No, you're
He
right on
really
that.
is. Yeah. They moved on. Third match of the show. It was Kat Von Hees versus Dean Richter. Time to fist. And there was a couple people there chanting "Time to fist," which I was like, "Yes, thank you very much." I couldn't do it being
Nice.
ring announcing, but yeah, there's a couple fans in the crowd chanting "Time to fist," and yeah,
Sweet. It's catching on now.
yep. Yeah, again, solid match from these two. That was good work. Dean brought a wrench into the match,
Hmm.
and a lot of shenanigans there, but the ref got distracted, and Dean did get to use the wrench in the end, and or then hit Cat with it, and he got the win.
Nice.
Yeah,
Solid match. Nice.
but yeah, solid match. Again, these two always put on a solidly good time. Then we got a 6-man tag match. It was Rich. Sorry, I got to switch to my other one for this one. Crap. There we go. And there we go. It was Rich King, Bobby
Mhm.
Sharp, and Harlan Abbott. Not a
Mm.
team I ever thought I would see together.
That's interesting.
Taking on the Celtic Union of Son of Irish, Krieger, and Ginha.
Ooh. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of sad I missed that match.
This was fire. I ended up missing the first few minutes because I had to run to the back first to bring some stuff to the back. I got distracted with something, but yeah, what I saw was very good. Bobby Sharp hitting a beautiful Michinoku driver here.
Mhm.
Just like all these guys coming really really solid in ring. Everybody worked together almost seamlessly. Yeah, it was just a solidly worked match. Everybody killing it in here. Rich and Soy, when they were in there together, the speed they were moving at, like both came in off hot tags and they were just
Mhm.
flying, hitting each other. It was so good. The speed
Nice.
there was amazing. But in the end, Rich King was doing that stalling suplex on Son of Irish,
Mm-hmm.
and Ginha from the outside pulled the feet of Rich, causing him to fall, and Soy landing on top, and Ginha held the feet down from the outside, and the ref counted 1, 2, 3 for the winners, the Celtic Union.
Dang. That match was so fast he didn't even have a graphic for it.
Oh crap! I forgot to click the button. There it is. I
There
made
we
a,
go.
I made a nice little graphic for it. I apologize. I'm just yeah. But
It happens.
yeah, really solid 6-man tag. The crowd was getting really into it. They were really This was a really good match.
Yeah,
Like
that's easily the match I'm the most sad about missing.
yeah, Soy. Oh no. The main event too is
Okay,
going to
we'll
be
get
right
there.
after. But yeah, Soy. The kid is so solid, just solid as hell.
Uh-huh. Everyone in this worker is a solid, is bare minimum solid, maximum like amazing worker.
Mm, yeah. Then we moved on after intermission. We came back with a tag team match. The heavy haters. That's what their
Nice.
name,
Yeah, that is their name.
or as I like to call them, Shirt Nasty. But the heavy haters, White Shirt William Taylor and Nasty Nate Nixon, took on the crazy psychotic group of the Manson family, Kyle Shaw and Moondog Manson. Really good match. I'm almost starting to be scared of Kyle Shaw,
Mm-hmm.
because I saw him kind of get unhinged at one point in this match, and the way his eyes looked, I literally thought I was looking at like a man possessed. Like the eyes were so
Damn.
wide, it looked like his eyes were almost popping out. Like he looked in like completely insane.
Wow.
I was legit scared of that man. I was like, oh god, he might murder somebody.
Damn.
Like, yeah. In the end, though, the Manson family did do some dirty tactics and hit the double team pile driver and got the win over pinning. I think it was White Shirt in the match.
Ah, fair. Yeah, these are good people. I do enjoy the heavy haters,
Mm.
especially Nate, but especially Will. They're both so good. I have their shirts on a waiting list for those shirts.
I've got the yellow version of the Nash shirt, and as soon
Mhm.
as White Shirt brings the shirt out, well, I have a white shirt. I already
Yeah, but the
I own a
shirt that
white shirt.
says shirt.
We all need to just wear plain white shirts to a show at some point. Mel was wearing one on Saturday. She had a white
Uh-huh.
shirt on, so yeah, she was in sport.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting on an orange nasty shirt, and I'm waiting on the white shirt that says shirt.
I don't know if you're supposed to say that yet.
Damn.
He is talking. He is talking about it to fans, so I guess it's out there. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's out there. He has chatted to people about the shirt. So, but yeah, we moved on to the main event. It's a 3-way main event. Sheik,
Oh.
Shabazz, T.Y. Jackson, and Chad Money Mills. That's why I thought this would be the one you would be so mad about missing.
Oh, damn. I'm so sad I don't have a car.
Dude, I would have picked you up. It's just I didn't get off work till 5, and I had to whip around the city on the west side to get to
Mm,
the Duke, so I couldn't really pick you up before the show.
damn. No, it's totally fair. I get it. But God, this match looks awesome.
Yeah, this was actually really good. Like just the things they were doing in this match was absolutely incredible. Like how everybody played off each other. There was a spot where Sheik had Ty up for his camel, as I like to call it, the camel toss or the razor's edge,
Mm-hmm.
and he turns around and Chad goes to punch him in the face, and she just yells, no, not my face. So Chad just goes, okay, and punches him in the balls.
Yes. That is
Oh,
talent.
it was so good. He's just like, okay, bang, punches him in the nuts. It was so good. But yeah, in the end though, did hit the camel toss in the end and got the pin on I'm pretty sure it was Chad for the win in what an incredible main event to close out that show.
Damn. Yeah, that sounds incredible. God, I hope they run it back. I want to see that.
Yeah, the thing is, like, again, I would love to see Sheik on another RCW show ASAP because he's really good.
Sheik is great.
You'll get to see him on August 1st.
I remember him from the PWA days. Yeah, Sheik is awesome.
You'll get to see him again on August 1st.
Oh yeah, I will.
Maybe be able to pick up a Jacked and Juicy shirt.
I gotta pick up a Paralira shirt. Yeah,
Jacked and Juicy, right? Certified beauty.
beautiful.
Yeah. So from here, we moved on to the show that me and Adam both attended that I worked. It was the RCW Shots Fired show on July 5th because the brewery show was on the 4th. This show was on the 5th. From the Norwood Legion, the regular home of RCW, and it kicked off with and so I don't I have Adam's notes because he took notes because I was working this show, so I couldn't really take notes. So I'm actually going to let him lead, and I'll give him my
Oh my
thoughts.
god. Okay, great. This is wow,
Eh,
put me on the spot.
Hey,
I'm excited.
you're the one that took the notes. You lead this. You took the notes. You lead it. I just got
Thank
him
you,
to
bud.
send me his notes so I could kind of refer to things as we went.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
I
so it
I
kicked
appreciate
off
it.
with
Kicked
I need to do this. It kicked off with Jack O'Connor versus my favorite person to introduce in this world because I've been introducing this band in professional wrestling since 2015, the Barricade, because it's my favorite entrance to do because I have my own line. I go, ladies and gentlemen, this is Barricade, and I just do it in such a gravelly.
It's
I
such
love.
a good call. Like
I just love
really.
I love doing it that way. I love it. But yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, no, really, you did great on that. Yeah, so we open up with Jack O'Connor versus Barricade. I love both these guys. Barricade, very nice guy, very great person to talk to. And Jack O'Connor is also he's incredibly insightful, and he's got a great MMA background. Very fun to talk to.
Jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
Specifically jiu-jitsu.
yeah, he's Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Yeah, he's got a great
No, it's
jiu-jitsu background.
jiu-jitsu is part of MMA, but
Mhm.
specifically he trains in jiu-jitsu.
I said MMA because he breaks out like some kickboxing stuff in this match.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
he is a kick. He has some kick. Yeah, see, you're right. MMA. He does.
yeah,
I know he currently competes in BJJ tournaments, but yeah, I guess he does have some kickboxing and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So this match kicks off with some really sick looking power spots. Jack tries to get the collar and elbow in. Barricade just pushes him down. The crowd is going nuts. Everyone's happy about it. We get into the main story of the match, which is Jack is trying to chop the man down with those brutal kicks to his leg, and his Barry's leg is starting to screw with him about 2/3 into the match, and he's got to like check it and like stomp the foot to make sure he's fine. Really well done, honestly. He's leaning into his BJJ background is Jack O'Connor with all the arm bars he's pulling out. He does. There's a point where he pulls into an armbar, and it's like a weird backwards, like sort of inverted armbar where he's like putting it over Barricade's shoulder, and it knocks him down to one knee.
Mm.
That was
Yeah,
very cool.
I saw a
Yeah,
couple. There's a spot on the when they were on the ropes. He was putting in like the Kimura locks, like using the rope to twisting it around the rope with
yeah,
the
with some of that.
Kimura,
Yeah.
trying to work the arm of Barricade. There, I really like that too.
That was very cool as well. This goes on for a while, and eventually, Barricade does come back. He still has some issues with his leg, but he does finish with he gets Jack into the corner, goes for the big splash, hits the big splash on Jack O'Connor, and then he falls forward
Okay,
into.
hold on.
Mhm.
You got to call it what you called it in the notes. Come on, come on.
Excuse me, you're right. Forgive me. The big squish in the corner from
I love that.
Barricade squishes Jack O'Connor, and then Jack falls forward into a black hole slam for the win.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I was gonna say I
yeah.
really enjoyed this. This is a great way to open a show. Again, two of my favorite people in professional, two of my top people in professional wrestling. Because Jack, again, like you said, Jack's a great dude. I always enjoy chatting with him. And I've known Barricade for since I started going tires since I got involved with RCW in like 2012, 2013 when I
Mhm.
started doing ring crew. Um, yeah, legit two of my favorite people in professional wrestling.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. Very excited about that. The opening was very good.
Mm.
It definitely was something that the crowd was. It took a bit for them to get into it, but when they got into it, they absolutely got into it. Uh,
Mm.
it was a very solid, very great opener. Very happy for both of these guys. But we move on to match number 2 of the evening. It is the team of Chad Money Mills and Lone Star Scotty Ace, who I have coined in my notes as Texas Money, uh, teaming
Oh,
up against.
I have a name. I'll find it. You just
Mhm.
continue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they said on Facebook that their name was Country Party. Uh, that might be wrong.
Yes,
You'll get it.
that's it. That
It
is
is Country
it. Yeah.
Party. Okay, so it's the team of Country Party, Chad Money Mills, and Lone Star Scotty Ace versus the RCW Canadian Tag Team Championships champions, Steven Styles, and also the RCW Alberta Heritage Champion with the tag champs as well, Steve Wild, the
Can
legendary
I
Steve Wild. Go
can
ahead.
I tell a little story? This is from Friday. I forgot to mention it during his
Uh
match.
huh.
So, as instructed when I was introing Steve Well, I was instructed to introduce. So I was introducing him, your RCW Alberta Heritage Champion, and one half the RCW Canadian Tag Team Champions, and too many other championships to name. The legendary Steve Wild is how I was instructed to intro him on Friday at
Wow.
the Rudy show.
You know what? Good on you, Steve Wild. Yeah, you push yourself. Fair enough. Anyway, yeah, it's Steve Wild and Steven Styles, old school violence, teaming up against Country Party. This match is really good off the bat. This is a stupid thing that I put in my notes, but
No, Party Cowboys. Party
Party
Cowboys.
Cowboys, Party Cowboys. This
Yes,
is
that's
a
it.
stupid thing that I put in my notes, but right off the bat, we're just waiting for the match to start up, and the referee, by the way, Tyrone Ironside's first refereeing gig.
Again,
I've
he told me to say it was his first ever refereeing debut. That's Tyrone Ironside. I don't know if I trust him.
Yeah, who knows? It's Tyrone. He could say a lot of things, but he's checking everyone. And Steve, I forget what Steve Styles is saying, but he's saying something about he doesn't have pockets or something like that. And he's talking to Scotty Ace, and just out of nowhere, I just quick as a whip, I just go, "You have no neck!" And
Oh,
it
that's good.
popped the crowd so hard they started chanting "No neck."
But
I'm
we also don't have necks either.
yeah, I don't know.
So
I am working on it. I got like a
me
half
too.
neck going.
Mine's coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on
Hey, I was
trying to.
back in the gym this morning for the first time in a while. So
Sweet,
yeah.
really good. Yeah, so this match starts off pretty hot. Scotty gets some good offense off at the beginning with some drop kicks. Styles tags in Steve Wild, and he hits a really nice hit. Scotty hits a really nice hit toss on Steve Wild, just showing how much this guy has improved in such a short time. Uh, but and there's a couple of really good tag offense from Country Party, the Party Cowboys. There's a point where Scotty tags in Chad, and they do the sort of like they drop Steve Wild down onto the mat, and then they grab each other's arms and do the double elbow. I
Mm.
do love a bit of that. I love cheesy tag team offense like that. That is one of my loves, guilty pleasures, if you will, of wrestling. But eventually, my old school violence feelings do come back as the usual match with old school violence does eventually begin, where Scotty is repeatedly beaten down by old school violence with the wrench shots to the neck, just constantly keeping him down. And again, and I feel like I'm going to say this every show they're on. I have no ill will towards old school violence. They're both really serviceable workers, especially Steve Wild.
Yeah.
But it's just not my thing, and I really would like to stop saying this.
Yeah, again, I defend it, but again, they know what is going to create success for them. They
Hmm.
know how to control a match. Like you have to give it to them is they know what they're doing and how to
They
keep
do.
control in a match. And that is to isolate the one guy. And there were some funny spots though when
Oh yeah,
they're in the ring and Scotty's almost there with Chad. So like I remember Steve grabbing the hand of Scotty and then slapping the hand of Chad. So Chad goes to come in and Tyrone's like, "No, it's not a tag." And he's like, "But." He was like, he tagged through him. It's like he was trying to call for like a tag through Styles, but he's like, and Tyrone's like, no, you didn't touch your partner. But in my head, I'm like, Styles was holding Scotty, and he
hmm
tagged Chad. So,
yeah.
in my opinion, it's a tag through Steve. I'm with Chad on that. I
It's
think it's a
sad,
tag.
but
I think it's a tag. I believe it's a tag. If I was the ref,
it
I would
should
have
have
let
been
it
a
happen.
tag. That
If
would have
I
been
was the ref, I would have let it happen. But I'm not
yeah,
a
no,
ref.
that is absolutely fair. The eventually, thank goodness, we do get the point where Scotty manages to fight off the two Steves. He makes the hot tag to Chad Mills. Uh, and there's some good moves here. Chad does a bunch of running elbows back and forth between the two Steves. He whips Steve Wild into the corner that Steve Styles is in. And I almost said Steve Wild into the corner that Steve Mild is in. Steve Wild in the corner that Steve Styles is in. Chad Mills rolls up, rears up in the corner. Bolin hits a big running hip slash elbow attack on both of them for a nice little, getting them off their feet spot. But the finish does come with everyone's in the ring. The ref has kind of lost control of this match slightly, but uh, it gets to the point where Steve Wild picks up Scotty in a, going for a fall away slam position. Uh, Steve Styles goes to try and ram into Chad in the corner. Chad gets out of the way. Steve Styles hits the turnbuckle corner, hits the pole, rolls out of the ring, and Chad gets up onto the top rope, hits a drop kick onto Scotty, which causes him to fall, caused Steve to fall back into a crossbody for the win.
For the Party Cowboys, they got the win.
For the Party Cowboys, yeah.
I was so excited. When I see him fit, I just grabbed my mic and was like, "Oh my god, yes!" Like went for my mic and I was like, I get to call them the
Yeah.
winners. I was so excited to call for the boys
It
the
was
winners.
super exciting. And I know as soon as they got out, they were hugging each other. And then both of them came over to our section of the crowd and just was hugging us. And we were like, let's fucking go. It
Well,
was so awesome.
it's the money pit. It's the money pit. They
The
came to
money
the
pit.
money pit.
I said to him during the show that I guess you could consider me the HBIC of the money pit. And I mean, I'm not wrong. I
The head bastard in charge.
Yeah, I think that works. I think I'm fine with that. I am a bastard at times,
Oh my
so
god.
I'll take that. Uh, After the match, there's also a part where Chad picks up Scotty on his shoulders,
Yeah.
and I think that was really sick. Just that's such a good visual of having the shorter guy, the smaller guy on the bigger guy's shoulders. It takes me back to ECW with the FBI.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this one. Again, like really good stuff in this match from the Party Cowboys and the Saves. They're doing. I enjoyed this match overall. Again, it's the same pattern, but again, maybe now the Thieves have to look to change things up because they
A
did
little
what they
bit.
do. They did what they normally do, and in the end, they lost this time. They've had some strong wins doing what they've done this last while,
Hmm.
but they just took a loss, and now it looks like the Party Cowboys are in line for a shot at the tag titles. So what does Old School Violence need to do to change up to now get the win over these guys? Because
Yeah.
you look at it, and you're like, mm, mm.
Yeah, they do need to. I think you're right on the fact that they do need to change stuff up. But I am excited to see Party Cowboys possibly have a shot at the RCW Canadian Tag Team titles in the future. I'd be excited to see that.
Yeah, because
But
again, it's gonna be that could be the next
mhm,
show was just announced. You didn't get to announce it at the show, but it was
August 8th.
announced August 8th on the Friday, August 8th. So like, hopefully, maybe we see the Party Cowboys getting a shot at that show. I would really like to see it.
Fingers crossed. That would be great. But we must move on for this show. We move on to match number 3, a women's exhibition contest. Sexy Samantha Slides facing for the first time coming back to RCW in what is it, 3 years? It
Out there, yeah.
about there, yeah, first time in a while at least. Facing the intangible Zoe Sager, a WWE ID prospect.
Yep.
Uh, very solid hand. I remember her from the PWA days, and she was very good back then as well.
Yeah, because I think she would have debuted in 2019. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she would
Somewhere
have
back.
went. I think she trained with Lance in 2018, 2019, early 2019 somewhere, and she
Mm-hmm.
debuted in PWA and then won the championship by the end of the year, but then lost it to Gigi Ray, who is now the
Right.
Reality of Wrestling Glory Women's Champion. Um, and but then the pandemic shut everything down, and then
Mm-hmm.
she would return with RCW in 2021 for a while, and then would make her way over to LPW.
Yeah.
Has traveled all around Canada wrestling. Got the WWID
Mm-hmm.
uh, designation when she was out in Ontario. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, good for her. This match was really solid to start. Like I said, first time seeing both of these people in a long time. Zoe for a couple years at least since PWA days. Sam Slides is my first time seeing her ever. I know she had gone on a long hiatus and has very recently been back for like a month or so. This match kicked off pretty well. There was some good technical wrestling at the beginning. Uh, the mood did change slightly when Zoe did hit a really good looking Michinoku driver on Sam for a 2. It I might be wrong. That Michinoku driver is the one where you pick him up in a scoop slam position and then you sit out like with the spread legs. That's a Michin. Okay, good. I did have that right.
yeah. It's you get them up and then you bring them down like driver style, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
tombstone pile driver style, but like more of a sit out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it was a Michinoku. Yeah, it was a really good looking Michinoku driver for 2 from Zoe. Uh, at a certain point, we do get to a point where there's a lot of rest spots, but like again, I don't really mind that. Like it's good, and the kids were really enjoying it. There was just a few kids in the front row. Shout out to these kids, by the way. They were loving this, and they were all wearing cam shirts, which is actually the reason I put on my cam shirt. Uh, yeah, you're King of the North shirt. I didn't have anyone's shirt on this show. I'm sorry.
You need to
Uh,
talk to Rich then.
I did. He's got a 4X. He's getting a 4X for me, so that's great.
Yeah, I
Um,
specifically made sure when he ordered me them, when he was making them, I told him 4X. I pretty
yeah.
much tell it to every wrestler now. Just make sure you have a 4X for me, and
Mhm.
hopefully soon enough I'll be asking for a 3X.
That's my goal as well, boss. Uh, but yeah, no, the kids were really enjoying it. There's a point near the end of the match where Sam is going for a inverted neck breaker on Zoe near the ropes, and Zoe grabs the top rope before Sam can execute the move, and Sam just falls flat on her ass. And I thought that was a really cool spot. I love stuff like that where you just use the ring as an advantage, and
Mm.
it's very Survivor. You have to adapt and use everything you can to make sure you pick up the win. It was very cool. But oh yeah, there was also a really good springboard moonsault from Zoe at one point near the finish. That was really cool. But we do get to the finish. Uh, out of the curtain comes RCW Hardcore Champion Shotgun Syd Greed, and
Yeah, I
he
was very confused when he walked out. I'm like, okay, so I kind of started making my way towards, and then he started slamming a chair into the post, and I'm like, fuck. doing?
Yeah, he slams the chair into the post, and Zoe turns around and is like, "What are you doing?" And as she's trying to figure stuff out, Syd blows her a kiss, and Sam gets the nice cinched roll up for the win.
Yeah.
Rolls up Zoe. Sam picks up the win in this honestly very good contest.
Yeah, I thought these two did a really good job. I just pulled up Sam's cage match because I was just kind of trying to figure out. Yeah, she hadn't wrestled according to cage match. She might have wrestled in between. Not everything gets reported to cage match. I know it's not the
Mm-hmm.
be all end all. But according to cage match, she actually hasn't wrestled since 2022. Now that might be wrong, but yeah, that's a good some time off, and she come back, and she's honestly looking just as solid as ever. She doesn't look, and I know she's been back since mid June,
Mm-hmm.
but she's looking solid. She's looking like as good as she ever has. Didn't Doesn't seem to have lost a step in there, and I really like it. She's doing really good there. And then so we like I've hated on her so many times, just because I've been watching her be a bad guy for so long, but she's so good. Like she's such a good wrestler. There's a reason, and she showed it here. Like, and she gets a crowd. The kids were so fired up for her and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, great match there. I very I just the ending, like Syd getting involved. I didn't care for that.
Yeah, it
I
was like
didn't like Syd getting involved here. It's like because I started kind of moving towards when he hit the post. I'm like because I thought he was going to go and hit Zoe. I'm like, dude, that's not cool. No,
yeah.
but then he hits
I
at the
was
post, and I'm like, okay, but
yeah. I was very confused as well, but then like after that happened, I'm like, oh, this is foreshadowing, isn't it? But we'll get there because we need to move on to the next match. Match number 4. It's Americado versus the King of the North himself, Rich King. And yeah, these guys are very good, both of them. I'm very
as I introed him, he is the man from the Yukon and the radzest man alive, Rich King.
yes.
He's the
God,
radzest man alive.
you have so many good calls, my friend. God, you're
I
so
can't
good.
say that was not a me original. The radzest man alive. That did come from the man himself.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, no, but that's great. God, if I this is completely hypothetical, but if I were to ever wrestle a match, I'd want you to ring announce me. Absolutely. Uh
Maybe I know somebody you could fight.
I certainly hope you don't. Uh yeah, so this match opened up and it was so good. Just yeah, they were very crisp with each other, really good chain wrestling at the beginning, holds, exchanging holds, reversals. It's everything I love about wrestling, especially technical wrestling. And I can't stress this enough. Rich is one of the best in this province.
Hmm.
Maybe even beyond.
Yeah. There's a spot I specifically remember from this match where they were kind of each getting each other in the inverted DDT position, and they kept like switching the position, and then Kato goes for the suplex with it. Rich comes down and finally gets that spin over into the elbow style final cut move.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember what the full name of that is, but it's like a almost like a GTR without the driving it into the knee.
Yeah, it's like Big Show's move where he steps over you and drops the leg, but instead of a leg, it's an elbow.
Yeah, I remember that being called the final cut, but I could be wrong. But I know if you look Hiroki Goto, he does the same positioning, but then turns and driving a person into and like driving with his elbow drives him
Mhm.
down onto his knee. But usually the person is the because there's a version he does it the same way Rich does, but he drives him in the knee
Mhm.
the other way around, which is driving the sternum into the knee,
Mhm.
which is a GTR. Yes,
BTR
it's like Rich's version of a GTR, just without the knee in there.
without the knee to the
I
sternum.
really, I find that move so solid.
Yeah,
So,
that was really good. There was a point where both of them roll to the outside, and Rich has got a Maricado running him around to the other side of the ring, pulls him up, and he throws a Kato in the ring. He jumps up on the apron, and he's going to go do the tips up DDT from the outside of the ring, but
Yeah.
Kato jumps up, grabs him, and then does a big hot shot style cutter, and Rich bounces up off the ropes, and that was a very cool spot as well.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, but the fun doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't last that long because after that GTR style maneuver that Andre was talking about, Rich goes for the pin. Judge Ben Omen, as the referee for this match, by the way, goes
RCW senior official, as I called him that night, Judge
senior
Ben Owen.
official Judge Ben Omen.
RCW senior official.
Yeah, he goes to count the pin 1, 2, and he's pulled out of the ring by the Manson family, Moondog, and the Goose himself, Kyle Shaw. He immediately rings the bell. The match is thrown out. Ben does give the decision that Rich King has won by disqualification. But as the Manson family are beating down Rich King, who comes out but the heavy haters themselves, White Shirt Will Taylor and Nasty Nate Nixon, to make the save. They cut a
Yeah,
promo.
yes, yeah. They cut the promo there, and they're saying they want to fight. And Rich said this isn't over, and they want to fight, and
Mm-hmm.
because they were supposed to be the Manson family versus the Heavy Haters on again as in a rematch on this from the night before, but the
Yeah.
Heavy Haters were they got their way out of the match. They figured they were like,
Mm-hmm.
no, we don't want to do this. So the Heavy Haters are making sure they're getting their tag team match, or getting their match in the revenge against the
Mm-hmm.
Man's family because they demand it. And then I talked with Ben, and Ben's like, "Let's do this." And I'm like, "All right." And we called it. Me and Ben made it official.
Yeah,
6-man tag.
exactly. So we move on. Technically, match 4.5, as I have it in my notes.
Yep.
It's the team of the Heavy Haters and Rich King, who I and the crowd called the Nasty Rads, which is a great call. I'm going to say that. But I prefer the other team's name from my perspective, which is the team of Americato, Moondog Manson, and the Canadian Goose, Kyle Shaw. Team of Americato and the Manson family, who I lovingly dubbed the Animal Farm. Just the shame on your face.
Oh.
Oh, that was so worth it. So we begin pretty hot. Nasty Nate comes in after a bit of jaw jacking. Uh, absolutely tears Goose a new one, and then he tags in his tag team partner Will Taylor. Moondog comes in, and Will absolutely smashes Moondog with just I didn't have exactly what moves he used for this, unfortunately, but it was really good. There was Rich finally got his tips up DDT on Kato, which was great. Uh, there was a really good double neck breaker power bomb combo from the three of them. I forget who they hit it on, but I believe it was Rich King gets them up for the power bomb position, and then Nate and Will both come down with a neck
Yeah,
breaker as
because the Heavy Haters I think I want to say it was Kato.
yeah.
They suplexed him up and then brought him back down for Rich to grab, and then bang, powerbomb double neck breaker
Yeah,
combo. I
that
think it
was
was Kato, but it could be wrong.
yeah. I'm sorry, whoever it was. You probably don't want us to know that you got hit by that move. Anyway, uh, that was great. There's a long stretch where the heels get their heat back and they continue to beat up team Nasty Rads. There's a point where Rich is just gets incensed with Kato and they just start fist fighting outside and they brawl to the back, which was fun. Uh,
Yep.
then we get the hot tag. Will hits that hot tag to Nasty, and he hits his really good combination of strikes on both Goose and Moondog. Then he gets them set up for a double Nasty German. He hits it on uh, on Goose first, then he hits it on Moondog. I love the Nasty German. It's such a good move, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something I haven't seen before. I saw Nasty do it, which is sick. Yeah, so the double Nasty German. Rich and Kato brawl back out to the ring after brawling in the back for some time. And as they're brawling in the back, as they're brawling at ringside near the bar, Will Taylor hits a really good looking Ushigoroshi to, I believe it was Kato. He hits a
Mm-hmm.
really good looking Ushigoroshi for 2, and that was
Look,
awesome.
his Ushigoroshi looks so good.
Yeah, it's super good. But we get to the finish where, let's see, Kato is, I believe, Rich hits Kato with a trash bin outside, or he
Yeah,
threatens to.
there was a spot on the outside I was watching when they were fighting. Kato like smashes the back of Rich's head right in, like just bang right off the bar. That look, I'm like, oh, it looks so
Ooh,
brutal. I'm like, oh god, he might have given him a concussion. I was like, oh god, I don't think so, but
yeah,
dude, it looked
thankfully
just
not. Yeah, I'm
bang
pretty
right
sure.
off the. Yeah,
Yeah,
look rough.
yeah, pretty sure Rich and Kato continue fighting outside as the finish happens. Where I believe it was Goose, or well, no, they hit a move on Moondog first. I forget what move it was. I'm sorry. Uh, but we
Uh,
get the.
was that the super kick and
Oh yeah, no, that was the. I do have that here. Yeah, it was the
that was a super kick air raid crash combo.
yeah, Air Raid Crash or Celtic Cross
Yeah,
combo, and then he hits that on Moondog,
yeah,
and then Goose comes in, tries to get a move on Taylor. Taylor picks him up in a wheelbarrow position, and we get the super buck nasty for the win. Team Nasty Rads win that dang thing.
yeah. I thought this match was so good. Like all these guys, from the opening singles when it turned into the 6-man tag, just so good. Everybody's just solid here, and I absolutely love this. Again, Rich is one of my top favorite wrestlers out there. Nasty Nate and has been one of my top guys for the last while. Will Taylor, I've been watching him literally since his first match in Top Talent. Was it
Nice.
3 year? I want to say 2022 is when he debuted. And then he was off for a little while with an injury, but his
Mhm.
return and has just been absolute fire in his return. But yeah, this match so much good stuff here. I really like the turn of Kyle here, kind of
Mhm.
going insane and
Yeah.
joining Moondog. I think the combo really works. I like the team and how they play off each other, and I love the attitude shift that Kyle's had here and getting kind of nastier.
Hmm. Pun not intended. Nastier. Yeah,
Yeah,
and post match we have a little spot where after the heels scarper away, uh, Rich gets into the ring and the heavy haters try to get Rich to do their thing with the mustache into the yeah. And Rich doesn't want to do it at first, but then he looks around and he's like, I'll do it this once." And they all do the thing. It looks for a second like Rich is gonna attack them from behind as they leave. And I don't know if Rich was just like, I don't know if I could trust these guys. I'm assuming that's what it was, but yeah, no, like you could tell like teaming with them was something that was not on his 2025 bingo card.
there's some history with them from LPW and some stuff they've done over the last few months.
That would be why I don't know the story.
Yeah, so there's some his. If you know, you know.
Mhm.
If you don't, it was just Rich looking like he's crazy, and
Yeah.
but absolutely love it. But he's yeah.
Yeah, that was honestly, I think this is it's so hard to pick a match of the night, but this was my match of the night at this point. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Because we move on to intermission, and intermission was great. And then we come back from intermission, and we move on to match number 5. It is a return grudge match from last June 7th, Pop Spot episode 1. It is T.Y. Jackson versus the host of the Chris Parrish podcast. It is Chris Parrish.
And what do you think of his podcast?
No comment. Chris Parrish and Ty, they again they
This is he yelled something at Chris in the
Yeah,
chat.
I
So.
know. I did yell that his podcast sucks. I, I have no
It
basis.
doesn't, by the way.
Yeah,
But
I have no basis. I've never watched it. I just wanted to yell.
I was planning to be there, be in the chat on Sunday morning. I just kind of got distracted after I finished my show, as I had to go over some stuff with some people afterwards. I never actually got a chance to get into his chat on Sunday. I do like to jump in the chat on these shows and chit chat with them. So yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, no, Chris Parrish and TY coming back from their honestly really good match from RCW Showtime. You can watch that episode over there. I'm sure there's a card up there somewhere if you want to watch it. Uh, but yeah, no, it's the crowd was hot and they were ready for this. It was going to be a really good barn burner, and it starts off as most good matches do with some really good chain wrestling. Uh, Chris eventually scarpers to the outside, and Ty hits a really nice looking tope suicida to the
I missed
outside.
that. I was
Yeah,
still in the back bringing stuff to the back.
yeah, it was a really smooth tope suicida from Ty, and of course he gets up, everyone in the crowd going "Shee!" It was super awesome. I
Yeah.
do love that. What else do we have in my notes here? They're still on the outside at this point, and Ty pulls Chris over to the other side, the opposite side of the bar, and he asks some fans to move out of the way, and he throws Chris straight into the wall, and Chris takes like a flat chest bump right inside, right in the middle of the wall, and that was very funny. I do love that. What else do we have here? The action, it goes about the same as it has been. You can tell there is a significant grudge between these two. These guys, they're very high octane, explosive spots. They really dislike each other, and you can tell. There's a point where Ty goes for a big swanton bomb on Chris Parrish. Chris manages to get the knees up and reverse that, and then he gets back up, and before Ty can get knocked, it falls down on the ground from that. He picks him up into a pedigree for 2. That was a pretty sick sequence. Uh,
Yeah.
this goes on for a while where Chris does continue to beat down Ty. Ty eventually gets his dander back up. He gets back up and he hits a nice spinning heel kick to get back into control. And there's more back and forth until eventually we get to the finish where Chris goes outside of the ring and he's looking for something underneath the ring. And he's like, I don't know where it is. So he just crawls under the ring like a rat and he just starts looking for something. You hear finagling and you hear like things being moved underneath the ring. And he eventually comes out with a chair, throws the chair into the ring, and he wraps the chair around Ty's ankle as if he's going to Pillmanize him. Ben is like, senior official Ben Omen, who is refereeing this match.
This is where I ran over to the ring because I'm like, dude, what the like? I was like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
oh.
And he's just like, I'm going to disqualify you, Chris, if you even try and do this. While he's jaw-jacking with Ben Omen, Ty gets the chair off of his leg. He rolls back into the opposite corner. Chris gets down off of the top rope, picks up the chair, and goes as if he's going to hit Ty with the chair. Ty super kicks the chair into Chris Parrish's face, right in front of the referee. Ref calls for the bell, and Chris Parrish wins the match by disqualification. And Ty is not happy.
Yeah, I like you could see the disappointment on Ben's face when he had to disqualify Ty for kicking the chair into Chris's face. And I'm like, I was, and it took me a second. I'm like, I'm just looking at Ben like, no, no. And he's like, you're winning by, he just says, Parrish wins by DQ. And I'm like, oh. And I had to say it. And I was like,
damn.
Because Ty did not deserve to lose this. He was
it was instinct. He just went for the super kick by instinct. The chair was just there.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Ty there because like, yeah, he just went for the move. Like it's almost like he wasn't even because he heard. I think it's almost like he heard Parrish coming, so he just went for that super kick. Did not expect the chair to be there and got kind of screwed out of this win. And you could see the look after. Ty was just like almost
Mhm.
broken after, because that's two
Yeah.
losses now to Parrish.
In
Because
a
he
row,
lost,
yeah.
yeah,
He
because he
lost the
lost.
first one.
He lost a match at the Hungarian Hall,
Yeah.
and he lost this one. It's just like, dang, like
Yeah, it's like, damn, and he got like the first loss was honestly, if I remember correctly, it was relatively clean. He hit his finish, he hit the parachute on Ty for the win. But this was just he just got screwed because Chris was using a weapon, and I'm like, ugh, that sucks. You got screwed by Chris Parrish. Damn, few things in life are worse. Yes, but Ty, he tries to pick his spirits back up by the end, and he walks out, and that's how that works. But we
yeah.
move on to match number, well, it's number 7 technically, but it's our main event of the evening. It is a hardcore match for the RCW Hardcore title. It is our Luchador Ginha challenging the RCW Hardcore champion, Shotgun Syd Greed.
Yeah, now known as the All Star Luchador
The
Ginha.
All Star Luchador Ginha. I missed that call. My bad.
Oh, I said it.
Yeah, you did say it. I just completely forgot about it. It went away from my head. Uh, yeah. This match, uh, in one word, fucking crazy. It was ridiculous. But we're gonna get into it. There's a little bit of actual work before we start the hardcore shenanigans. Some fun little reversals, but then both of them are just like, screw this, and they both roll out on separate sides of the ring, and they start
There
grabbing.
was there was the finger snap in there.
Oh no, that's after they go to
Oh, was
grab
it?
their.
I
Yeah,
thought it was early. Okay, never
yeah.
mind.
So he does try and go for the finger snap a few times, but they
Hmm.
both roll out of the ring. And this is where I introduce a new segment whenever there is a hardcore match on the pop spot. I call it Plunder Watch, where I just go through all the weapons that were in this match. So it opens up, and we get 2 kendo sticks, one long traditional kendo stick, and one shortened one that is covered with barbed wire.
Oh no, that was just a stick. That was just a
That
stick.
was just a stick? I thought it was a kendo stick.
Yeah, it was just a
Okay.
stick with
It was
barbed
just
wire
a
on it.
stick. It was just a real ass stick with barbed wire all over it. Uh, and we'll get to the other plunder as we
Oh, go ahead.
continue.
Oh, start listing
Okay,
all the
yeah, no,
plunder.
yeah, we'll list all the plunder. Okay, so yeah, there was a kendo stick, a stick covered in barbed wire, a crutch covered in barbed wire, a ladder, a little step ladder that was wrapped in barbed wire. There was a bag of tacks. There was a staple gun. There was a table. There was a door. There was about 5 venue chairs and about 5 of the foldable chairs that were used in this match. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of plunder in this match, and
Yeah.
they used it to the best of their ability. We get the after there's a bit of wacky the stick with on Sid's back. Uh, I'm sorry. There's a bit of that, and then Jinha gets his finger breaking spot, which is still sick. It wasn't that loud this time, but it that stuff
I
just
think it wasn't that loud because the crowd was quite loud.
yeah. The
That was
crowd
the
was
difference there. Is the crowd was loud, so I that's why we couldn't hear the finger snap. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I know what you mean. The
yeah.
crowd was electric from basically minute 1 to minute the end of this match. So yeah, it makes
Hmm.
sense. There's a lot of plunder. There's a lot of hitting each other with barbed wire objects. Uh, they roll out to the outside, and Jinha gets the staple gun and starts stapling Sid multiple times. He staples him, I think, twice or 3 times in the chest and once in the back. Uh, Again, brutal. Uh,
Hmm.
there is he sets up that little barbed wire step ladder in the corner, and then he goes to whip Sid into it. uh Jinha hits it, hits his butt hits flat into the barbed wire, but no actual skin contact. So he got a little bit lucky there. Whereas Sid goes to try and splash him, Jinha runs out of the corner, grabs him, hip tosses him into the step ladder covered in barbed wire, and Sid slides down off of it. It is looked real bad. Then we get the grossest spot of the match, where Jinha sets up the foldable chair in the middle of the ring. Or no, Syd sets it up. And then the hips toss to the ladder happens.
Oh,
And then Jinha hits a fucking a gringo killer vertebreaker on Syd. His neck goes straight through this chair, and the chair bends in the most awkward, unnatural way. He hits the ground.
yeah.
He is flush. His eyes are wide open. He looks like he's unconscious, and then Jinha goes over for the pin, and the man kicks out. He kicks out.
Oh,
Syd, you are insane.
yeah. I was just, like I cringed so hard when I saw him do that.
Yeah, that was so gross. It looked really brutal. Uh, then we get a bit later. Jinha grabs the bag of tacks, a little baggie full of thumbtacks, and this is the shot of the match. It's so sick. He opens up the bag, and instead of pouring it just like on the floor, he pours it over his mask, and it all just disperses off of him like he's like it's like that the TNA promos where they were just standing in the rain, but it's just raining tacks on this guy, and it does him a really good service because it disperses the tacks a lot better than if you were to just pour it in one place. Which is
Yeah,
honestly, I think that's
and,
such a good
and
move.
so one of the fans, Kiana, got a shot of it. Really cool shot from the one side. And I didn't have a chance to download it, so I don't have the video. But it looks so cool from her angle because she's shooting him from the front, and like the lights are almost behind him, so he's kind of like engulfed in
Yeah.
lights, and it looks like it's almost like water flowing down over
Mhm.
him. Oh, so good.
It's a very Sin City shot. It was very cool. So he gets the tacks out. Tacks are all over the ground, and he goes to hit a cutter. There's a bit of jostling, a bit of reversal, and then he goes to hit another cutter on Syd. Syd pushes him into the tacks. He lands flat back on the tacks, and then Syd goes up top, tries to hit a move on Jinha. Jinha gets up, slaps Syd, throws him off of the top rope straight into the tacks, goes for a pin with his foot, like the Jericho sort of cocky pin, but without the cockiness. And move of the match from the referee Tyrone Ironsides, by the way. Uh, he he gets down and he goes to like start counting, and he sees tacks in the way, and he just brushes the tacks out of the way before he starts counting. Oh, that was
I
so
That
good.
was an absolute perfect spot there. I was just like, "Oh my god, that just." And I don't blame the man. I'm not gonna slap a mat when there's tacks all over it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I don't blame
not
him.
even Matt Slaps would do that, and he loves
Yeah,
slapping the mat.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's a bit more jostling. Syd finally takes control. He rolls out, and one of the kids in the front row that we were talking about earlier starts hurling abuse at Syd, and Syd just he looks at him, looks at her, yells, "Fuck you!" and spits on this kid.
Oh, that was
I'm like, my God, man. That is nuclear heat. That is so good. That's so fucked
mm-hmm.
up. Uh, Jinha takes control back a bit after that spot. Syd he lays Syd down on a door that has set up on the outside, leaning against a wall, and he goes for the building up a head of steam, runs a train, runs out, and then Syd gets out of the way at the last possible second. Jinha goes through the door, crash, bang, wallop. What a video! Sorry, that was an Alan Partridge reference. No one's gonna get that. Uh, then we get. I'm sorry, there's so much to talk about in this match. Jinha grabs a bottle of hydrogen peroxide from underneath the ring. I forgot to
Oh,
mention that. He grabs a bottle of hydrogen peroxide from underneath the ring, and he just pours it on top of Syd Greed, like from the head up. Syd is screaming because he's got all these cuts on his body now.
so to
Yes.
that, then you got tossed. They yelled at everybody move, and they tossed him into the chairs, right?
Uh huh.
So as Syd gets up from that, he's yelling for water
Yep.
because the hydrogen peroxide got into his eyes. So Nate got a bottle of water, started pouring it in his eyes, trying to
Yeah.
and cleaning him up.
Uh,
Like, oh my god, I couldn't
yeah.
even
No, that was brutal.
imagine.
When I realized that's what
Oh.
happened, like, oh god, like it's so painful getting like hydrogen peroxide in just a cut. Getting it in your eyes, I couldn't even imagine.
Well,
Like
cause that could mess your eyes up, man.
that absolutely can if you don't flush it out quick enough.
Oh, couldn't
Oh, that was
imagine.
brutal. But thankfully, Nate, one of the fans, was able to have a water bottle on standby and just quickly got him rinsed out as best as he could. And they
Well,
continued.
somebody passed the water bottle over to Nate so Nate could pour it in his eyes.
Thank goodness for that. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, he gets the hydrogen peroxide out of his eyes. Thank goodness. I'm glad. Jinha starts hitting him with venue chairs. He gets up on the stage, and as he's up on the stage, Jinha starts setting up a table right at the base of the stage, right underneath it, and he's getting help from the. Go ahead.
As I say, I have a video
Oh, you have a video? Go ahead.
of this next spot.
We'll have this next spot. Yeah, we'll get there. But
Set her
one of
up.
the things before the spot, one of the things is Tyrone Ironsides, the referee, is helping Jinha set up this table, and my buddy
Sorry.
Dan is like, my buddy Dan was like, "Oh my god, the referee's favoritist," and Tyrone just looks at him and he just goes, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah. Hey. Tyrone does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, Tyrone
Simple as
goes
that.
where he pleases. But yeah, he sets Sid up on his shoulders, and you get this spot over here.
So let's play the video, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked like it sucked.
That
Like
looked really
go through
painful.
a table. Oh.
And the sound the table made when he went through it, oh my god, it was just the loudest thud. It was just brutal sounding. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So eventually, after that massive spot, Jinha pulls Sid into the ring, throws him in there, and just as he's going to get ready for the win, he goes down to get the pin. Slides in the ring. It's Sam Slides sliding in the ring with a chair. She hits Jinha.
And even on the this is even showing Tyrone doesn't care about either of these men. Or he only it seems like he only cares about Sid here because he starts slow counting this. He's like,
Yeah,
1,
that was screwed up.
2,
Two.
and then Sam comes in, smashes Jinha with a chair, and I was like, what the?
Yeah, I like blatant favoritism at the end of the match, and I'm like, okay, maybe my buddy Daniel did have a point. But fucking Sam hits Jinha in the back with a chair on the tax, by the way, which is super painful looking. She picks up Jinha. Sid's slowly getting to his feet at this point, and Sam Slides does the unthinkable, rips off Jinha's mask, clean off. Passes it to Sid. Sid holds it up in the air for a second, tosses it down, and then he hits that awesome package pile driver.
Oh no, it was a Vince Austin snuff pile driver.
Oh, yes, forgive me. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Rest in peace,
it was
Vince.
the Vince Austin snuff style pile driver is what it was.
I had not seen Vince in a while, before
Yeah.
the news. So
Yeah.
that explains why I didn't know. But yeah,
So,
he hits the Vince Austin snuff pile driver, and he goes to pin Jinha and Tyrone 1, 2, 3. Like, come on!
Hmm?
What are you doing? Damn it, Tyrone Ironsides! You really do whatever you want.
Yeah, and so Jinha won the match last 2 weeks ago at the show
Yeah,
we covered 2 weeks ago,
episode 3.
and this is the return,
Mm-hmm.
and holy crap, did this live up to everything you wanted to and more?
Yeah.
And this isn't over because after the match, like Jinha's demanding the microphone from me,
Mm-hmm.
and he proceeds to talk about how it doesn't matter what you do to me. He's coming back next show on August 8th, and he is taking that championship from Sid. He said, "You can take my
Yeah.
mask, but I will take your championship." And then Sid gets the mic, and he
Mm-hmm.
goes up and says, your mask doesn't matter, and throws the mask back at Jinha. He says, "Your mask doesn't matter. which I was like, oh,
Ooh.
that's mean. And Ginha gets a chance to put the mask back. Almost said saying, he said the only thing that matters is my championship, and he does accept that, but it's insane what these two are willing to do to each other and to themselves for
Yeah,
this
that's
championship.
brutal.
Like, it's insanity, man.
Mm-hmm. It is absolutely brutal. Again, yeah, Syd capping off his promo with saying, "What matters is my title and your pride. If you want to come back for my title, enjoy your mask while you can, because next time I'm taking it forever." And that's where the show ended, with Syd walking out victorious and Jinha with his mask freshly put on. This is gonna be an absolute war next month.
Yeah, and I'll give it to Matt Styles though. As soon as the pin was counted, Matt was running towards that ring with a towel to cover Jinha's face.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, really, really solid work. This was my match of the night. It was really tough to choose between this and the six man, because they were both everything I love about wrestling. Like, this wasn't death match level. This, and again, I have my qualms with death matches, but this was the level of hardcore I am very comfortable with.
So my mom attended this show.
Yeah,
And she said this was the only part of the night she didn't like.
which is completely fair.
Because she's not a wrestling fan, but she when she watches it, she enjoys it. But she said she didn't care for the craziness and the weapons and the violence of all this. This was not her side. This was not wrestling. This was not what she was there for. She did not care
Hmm.
for this.
Which is
Uh,
understandable completely.
because hardcore wrestling is not everybody's cup of tea. I know a lot of people that really dislike hardcore wrestling, and I don't blame them. It's not your thing. I I'm used to it at this point. I still don't like. I like this. I enjoyed the death match we saw at Black Hole,
Yeah.
but I don't like that style of wrestling. But this I
Hmm.
enjoy. I very much enjoyed this. This was
Yeah.
insanity.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was absolutely insane. It was really a really solid way to end off the show. That it was, yeah, very, very good. But that's going to bring it to the end of this episode of the Pop Spot. I don't know why I said Pot Spot. I am not that kind of person. This is going to bring it to that episode, the end of this episode of the Pop Spot. I'll let you handle the intro, buddy. Thank you for letting me take the lead on this show.
Yeah, well, you had the notes. You did all the work taking them. I'm not gonna steal your spotlight. But yeah, yes. Oh, I guess it's the end of it, isn't it? So yeah, we've come to the end of another episode of the Pause Club. We thank y'all for joining us here. Where can they find you, my friend?
Yes, so you can find me on the Blue Sky at awscomedy.bluesky.social. You can find me on the Instagrams at awscomedyeg. And if you want to see a little bit more of a fun podcast where me and a couple of buddies of mine watch Power Rangers and react and review the episodes, and have a fun old time talking about it, you can watch the Morphomania podcast on Humanoid Freak's YouTube channel. Just head over to that link, youtube.com/humanoidfreak2515, and you'll find the playlist with all the episodes there. Uh,
It's linked down below. Don't
it's
worry.
all, yeah, it's all in the description.
It's in the description down below.
Yeah, you can take a look over there. Absolutely. Where can they find you, my friend? I didn't know. I didn't double check this time.
You can find me on the X and Blue Sky at That Canada, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada. You can find me right here on Backbreaker Video doing this show, talking all the things you need. I need to update this logo because we got a new logo for the network. I got to update this logo. I forgot
Great
to change
logo,
it.
by the way.
No, we got a new logo up here coming
No,
up.
I
We have a
mean,
new,
yeah, no, the new one.
the new one,
It's a
yeah.
great new logo. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to update this logo for the background for the next show. So yeah, you can find me at Backbreaker Video, checking out all that stuff, and you can see all the other great content over at Backbreaker Video, youtube.com/at Backbreaker Video. Check out all the great wrestling content, and the AEW watch alongs that Mike puts out, and you can see those live at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref, where he does a little live AEW watch alongs on Saturdays, on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I know he's got another one coming up. This comes out on Tuesday, tomorrow on Wednesday. You can check out his AW Watch Along. I don't know if he's going to have one on Thursday for Collision, but I'm very sure he's doing one as Watch Along for All
All
In
in
on
Texas.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Y'all In.
Y'all in. Come on in, y'all.
Yeah, so you check that out over on their Instagram and all that stuff. I'm Backbreaker on on their Instagram, on their Twitch, and their YouTube, and you can see all his gaming content there live too, and the replays of his gaming content at youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming. You can also but then back to me again. You can find me over on Our Local Establishment. You can find me doing the Point of View show every Sunday with Bobby and Mark. We talk just about just the world of sports. We talk the footy. We talk F1, hockey, football, whatever we feel like talking about.
I watched the
World of sport.
replay of last Sunday's episode. That was very fun.
Thank you. Yeah, we talk about all the sports stuff we love talking about. So you check that out over on Our Local Establishment. And then you can also find me doing another show, Marvel Talk, and our new show debuting, which we originally planned for the Sunday the 13th, but it will be moved to Wednesday the 16th. It is the debut edition of DC Talk, where we are going to be talking about the Superman movie. So this gives that weekend is just very busy with all the wrestling that weekend and just life outside of it. So we decided to move it to the 16th. You can check that out over on our Look, the DC Talk. We're talking this new Superman movie, and then we'll be back with Marvel Talk towards the end of July after we see the movie. It should be on the Sunday after Sunday of the weekend the movie comes out. We'll be talking Fantastic Four. It'll be myself, Ed, and the Marvel Talk main host, Peggy, will be back. She actually should be back for the DC Talk, but that's up in the air. But she will be back by the time Fantastic Four comes out. But yeah, so you can check that out. And then if you want to check out RCW, you can check them out on Facebook. Go over there, and you can also check their Eventbrite page for tickets to their next show. See when they're coming to your local area, because they go and do shows all throughout Alberta.
Can I get a pop for that?
I always enjoy that.
Yeah.
But we have come to the end of another episode of the Pop Spot. I am Andre C.
I am AWS, and until next time, stay poppin'. Bye-bye.